Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. The best clan boss team in the game, guys, just got better. A lot of you guys have been asking me, Skratch, use Rathalos in a team where he can go on a 2-to-1 ratio. Use him where he can actually use every single one of his skills to really see his full potential. That's exactly what we're going to do in today's video, guys. We're going to fully unleash Rathalos Blade Master, and we are going to take him in a mid-full comp. Now, there we will have a more reliable defense down, so we're gonna have that on all the time. And on top of it, he can actually use the A3, he can buff himself with increased speed, with increased crit damage, and then deal that insane amount of damage that he is actually dealing. The only problem is, unfortunately, we won't have any HP burn. I really wish that Plarium in the future will make a set where it's gonna be HP burn set, similar with the Toxic one. Just give us a chance to land HP burn, It would be absolutely amazing. Even if you make it so it's only single target rather than AoE, it will be massive. It will be absolutely amazing to enable us to have more fun in the game, basically. So we are currently on Force Affinity, guys. I'm very curious to see how his damage compares with a +4 Fushan with Phantom Touch. The only thing is that Fushan doesn't have, of course, War Master, okay? He's built on for damage just generally, and he has a Helm Smasher. I don't have masteries on Demeter. I don't have masteries on Harris either, guys. So the damage overall for the comp will probably be a bit lower than usual. And on top of it, I don't have only one Toxic set, which should be more than enough. And that's on Harris because that's where you want to have it, basically. Let me just quickly show you something on the presets. And I will discuss about speeds and everything in just a second. I'm going to pull up the Deadwood Jedi calculator and show you guys exactly what you need in order to make this team work, A Blade Master is at 172 speed. Demira, 294, and is all about the presets, Like, for him, doesn't really matter. He can open with the A3 or the A2. This team is a bit funky. You need to prioritize the skills in order to make it work. So you gotta force Demira to use the A2 and the A3, and force Harris to use the A2. If not, they just won't do it, Unfortunately. But that being said, this is a full auto team. It works on every single affinity, on every single difficulty. The only thing that you really want to avoid when you are going on Spirit is to make sure that Ares is not going to be the stun target. And pray that it's going to be Fushan, or in this case, Rathalos, because we have two Force champions, and honestly, I don't think it will be any problem whatsoever. But let's crack on it and see some of these big numbers from Rathalos. And on top of it, we can actually see him unleashed, guys. Rathalos fully unleashed. So starting just casual with the A2 with 141k hit. The one thing to keep in mind, because he is fully booked, is going to be almost impossible to tune him. So the 200% extra damage comes on the A2. It's just not doable. I'm gonna show you on the calculator. It will always kind of like fluctuate in between the A2, the A3, the A1. So I have counterattack accessories on him. He might counterattack every now and then. He might not, but either way, it's gonna be pretty hard to put it spot on. So right now, Seeker is the stun targeting here, guys, because he is a weak affinity. 502k hit. That was with the extra damage, and that was with the A3. Now we're gonna have a look at and see most of the skills in action. Right, we have 199k hit right there. That was with the A2. Keep in mind we have no weaken either. I really kind of like wanted to do the mid-buster team, but I was like, yeah, that's a bit too unrealistic for the majority of people, and most of the people will be curious to see him in a team like this. And by the way, he is, of course, on a merciless set. So if we have decreased cooldown skills, that's the reason for it. Because, how I mentioned, you cannot tune him. And right there, we got the A2 in action, 636k, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the 5th hit, most probably. But, of course, we have no HP burn and no weaken. So that reduces the damage significantly, After I thought about it, maybe I'm gonna put in Ferrokin the Fat instead of Fushan, and have him as lead and go with higher speeds on all of the champions instead, without having the speed aura. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. That could have been an interesting option too. So we got a counter attack right there, 123k. So keep in mind, only the A2 ignores defense. 600k with the A3. The damage is definitely not bad for him. Now, if you would compare him with a Jintoro, if you would compare him, for example, with a different champion, I don't necessarily think that he will out damage most of them champions in this team, just because this is not the perfect environment for Rathalos. Okay, you have no HP burn, and how I mentioned, you kind of like want to take advantage of his every 5 uses of a skill doing that extra damage, because you cannot time it if you have him fully booked and stuff, you know. Why not take advantage of it, basically, you know? So because this is not the right environment for him, I do think that a champion like Jintoro probably will out damage him. I don't think he will out damage Ninja, even in the right scenario, man. I feel like Ninja is just dropping so much disgusting damage that it's hard to say that he will out damage him. But either way, we're looking pretty damn good so far. Turn count with 18 million damage. We're almost at 2 million damage per turn, you know, so that's definitely not bad at all. Considering that I have no masteries on 2 champions either, you know. 610k right there. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And here we are, guys. We are near the end. I feel like we're going to be surprised. Because I've seen some big hits from him. I've seen some big hits from Fushan as well, though. Keep in mind, he's +4. He does have a blessing as well, so that makes a bit of a difference. But I feel like we're going to be surprised by the final result right here. Let's see. 94.2 million damage. Fushan with 39.4. And then Rathalos Blademaster with 32 million damage. Now, honestly, that's what I said, we're gonna be surprised. I was not expecting this, but at the same time, he's a +4 with a blessing, so it makes sense to do more damage, 100%. But still, I had a bit of a higher hopes for a Rathalos Blademaster unleashed in the mid-Fu comp. At least like this, you get an idea to see what he can actually do. The damage is still good, don't get me wrong. The damage is still very good. Especially that, how I mentioned, he was not in his perfect environment, you know. So Fushan 39, Blademaster 32 million damage, Seeker 9.8, Demita 1.4, Harris 11, but they have no masteries. Let me just quickly show you the builds on the champions, guys. I feel like that will be very helpful. So this is my Fushan, 2 counterattack accessories as well, and you know, when Fushan counterattacks with that A1, he can literally go like bam, 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 like a machine gun. Total stats on Fushan. Almost 8,000 attack, 203 speed, full crit rate, 289 crit damage. Definitely not too bad. Definitely not too bad. And that's savage and cruel. Masteries, we have offense and support. Help Smasher as tier 6. I feel like War Master was definitely going to benefit him a bit more. But that's how we look in terms of stats. Then we have Rathalos. So he's on a Merciless set. He ignores basically more defense anyway, but the set itself will ignore 5% more defense than Fushan's. But then Fushan had a different mastery, you know. So right here we have 6.6k attack. So it's like what, 1.2k attack less than Fushan. We have around 50% less crit damage or 40% crit damage less. And yeah, the rest of the stats are very similar in terms of crit rate, survivability. That's not really very important, honestly. So I would say that taking that in consideration as well, I do think that Rathalos still performed very, very good, you know. But how I mentioned, I don't think that in a team like that, they will beat a Jintoro or a different champion, you know, that is at that sort of a caliber. He won't beat a Turvold in that sort of team. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Same with Ninja. Ninja won't really work very good there anyway, but just thinking about it, you know, I feel like he's good, but he won't be those 2 champions in the team. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, though. So I do have as well 2 counterattack accessories on him. The Merciless, Masteries, he does have War Master, and in the rest, pretty similar on the offense tree. Then we have the Meta, triple speed set. Total stats Let me just put the Demon Lord battles. I have +2 speed from it. I regret the day when I clicked on adding the 2 speed because I always forget about it and I'm doing the teams and then I have to go back and change the builds again to minus the 2 speed, which is so annoying. So right here, all that matters on her right now is the speed. 294. The stats are trash. She doesn't really have full crit rate or any crit damage or any attack. She has a lot of HP, and that's because I didn't want it to optimize the team. I just chucked in the gear to get them to the right speeds and take them in for a spin. This is not a team that I'm personally using, you know, so that's why. But no masteries on her. Seeker. So he's on Savage, and I just decreased the speed on him because he was being used in my old Barrier comp. And we have 3.6k attack, 184 speed with a 2 speed, 186, 96 crit rate, 232 crit damage. So he can definitely improve a lot. Fury sets are not good in this team, guys, because you're not dropping HP. So you cannot run relentless sets either. So you're either going on Savage to maximize the damage, either on Savage. Basically, that's about it. Masteries, offense and defense. I haven't changed the Grim Resolve to Heart of Glory instead. You know, I kept it like this because, how I mentioned, this is not a team that I'm running and I'm not planning to keep it for my account. And then I have Harris right here on a Toxic set, a Speed set. I do have a counterattack accessory on her too. Total stats, we have 3.9k attack, 261 speed, 263, 94 crit, 156 crit damage. No masteries on her either, you know, so adding the masteries on them for War Master, giving her a Sniper, giving her Master Hexer will actually improve the damage a lot and will definitely break 100 million without a problem. I can't really recall how much damage I was doing with a Jintoro, for example, in a team like this, but I definitely feel like Jintoro is beating Rathalos in a team like this 100%. Now, I'll be thinking probably for the next few days, guys, maybe to try something a bit more exotic when we can unleash him even more with HP burn, some ally attacks, a lot of crazy things to pop his skills as often as possible. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you impressed by Rathalos in the team? I know some of you guys might be running a team like this and you're gonna be like, well, I need a better champion for some different affinities. Maybe you're running Fane. She's just not doing the job on some affinities. Maybe you don't have a good damage dealer to use in a team like this. So then Rathalos comes in play for a lot of you guys out there. But that was all for the video. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.